ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। గీతామృతం రీడింగ్ కి అందరికి వెల్కమ్. We're continuing from yesterday. Chapter 1. कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मा सनातना धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नं धर्मो विभवात् भवच्युता धर्मो अभिभवच्युता. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in religion. Okay. With the destruction of the family, the eternal proper conduct of the family is destroyed. And the dharma is destroyed, the family is completely filled with adharma, or adharma will conquer all the remaining members of the family. Why this happens? This happens because when the leader of the family, who is the protecting member, if he is not there to protect them, then actually the protection is offered from following the dharmic path. The moment the protector is not there, what will happen? Naturally, the subjects will go into adharma. They will slide down to adharma. The protector is not there. Okay. Purport. Nikhil bro, can you read purport?
Yes, bro. In the system of the Varnashrama institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop religious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain.
Somehow, Nikhil bro, your voice is clear.
Okay. Now we are able to hear.
Purification may stop, the remaining younger family members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Younger family members may develop religious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain.
That's why he is telling you. The reason is that. That is the purport here also.
Krishna Chakra Thakur purport 39. The right conduct maintained by the family, which has been passed down from many generations, Sanatanaha Kula Dharmaha, will be destroyed with the destruction of the family. Kulakshaye. Baldevijan. Purport 39. In this verse, Arjuna expands upon the sin of destroying the family. The religious activities such as fire sacrifice, Kula Dharmaha, which have been obtained through the family traditions, Sanatanaha, will be destroyed because of destruction of the performers. The word Utha here means even and is linked to what is it? Kshnam.
And it is linked to Kritsnam.
Kritsnam. With the destruction of performance of religious activities, religion will conquer. Abhibhavati. Even Utha, all the remaining family members consisting of small children and others.
You see, it's very clearly, Baldev very nicely speaking. Here, what is speaking, you see, the Sanatana will be destroyed. That is, what is that Sanatana? Kula Dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is of a sacrifice. Actually, this word sacrifice should be very nicely understood. Sacrifice means that which is little difficult to perform. So the difficult perform activity will be only possible with the administration. Why that difficult to perform activity need to be performed? Because here in this world, we are meant for purification of heart. The purification of heart is the major purpose of remaining here. So there are different kinds of sacrifices. There is Dravya Yajna. And later on, we are going to learn all this Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, Swadhyaya Yajna. These all yajnas are mentioned in the scriptures. So these yajnas are, they keep up with the spiritual value of the life and family, or the members of the family together. When the leader is not available, that sacrifice will not be performed. When sacrifice is not performed, then we'll have difficulty of obtaining the actual purpose of this world. Purpose of why we are here. We are here to reform in this world. Then what will happen? Gliding will happen, and the gliding down will happen, because nobody is living for purification. Everybody is living for enjoyment. Now that's what we are able to see here clearly, right? The enjoyment propensity is clear cut from the day one. The this Upanayana samskaras are not performed, which are purificatory processes actually. These are not performed. That's how the gliding down happens. So we'll move ahead. So it's my very nice thing. I think link to Kritsam. Actually, Kritsam means here what meaning is that? Kulakshaya, destroying the family. Pranashanti becomes vanquished. Kula Dharma, the family tradition. Sanatana. Dharmainashte Kulam Kritsnam. Kritsnam means as a whole. Adharma Bhiva Achyuta. It is said, so he is saying from the scripture only. That's what he's saying. Krishna as a whole, the family traditions and sacrifices are destroyed. So that's why it's also not ready to perform the activity of fighting. Okay. Adharma Bhivavat Krishna Pradushanti Kulastriya Strishu Dushta Shubhashneya Jayate Varna Sankaraha. When a religion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the woman in the family will pollute it and form the degradation of womanhood. From the degradation of womanhood, for descendant of Vrishni comes unwanted progeny. Oh, this is another important implication that comes from the destruction of family traditions. So what happens? Then the degradation will only become multiplied. Multiplied why? When the women of the society are polluted, then the generation after generation will only get degraded actually. It's very, very horrible activity that happens because of this. From the prevalence of adharma, women in the family will become contaminated. O Krishna, when the women are spoiled, mixed varnas arise. So from the prevalence of dharma, the woman of the family of Krishna, when women was spoiled, mixed varnas arise. Okay. Raghunath, who would like to read the purport?
Hare Krishna. So is my voice audible?
Yeah.
Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashrama religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashrama system. On the failure of such Varnashrama dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged. Is at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence.
We can see this today very, very clearly. The women becoming polluted. Varna Sankara is formed. And when the Varna Sankara is getting more and more, then what happens? Actually, nobody will be able to understand what a person belongs to, which Varna he belongs to. This Varna is a scientific system of one's, by conditionings, one is at what mode actually. So every Varna is like the four Varnas are there, let us say Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The Brahmana is in goodness, the Kshatriya is in passion, the Vaishya is in the mode of mixed mode of passion and ignorance, and the Shudra is in the mode of ignorance. So the Varnas are very clearly modes, the prevailing mode is properly described. So then accordingly, the duties can be described very easily. Very easily, duties can be described. And duties can be given to them and they are happily, naturally engaged in that. Nowadays, because this Varna is not known to the people, and they are completely mixed. Passion is there, good ignorance is there, so much mixed up and down. So people are not able to actually, where am I fit? Which occupation is I am fitted? So this whole confusion, they go into different zones, and actually they create difficulty to themselves and create difficulty to whole society. So nowadays, many are in the mode of passion and ignorance, and people don't want to do that kind of activity. They have desire to do something higher, which they are not into. They don't fit there, but they are pushing forward that in the form of reservations and everything. They want higher duties and perform. So whereas the person who is not qualified, if he's there at that higher position, what will happen? Let us say somebody who is not an engineer, he came by a quota seat has come and he become a civil engineer. Now he is going to construct a bridge, and without even construction complete, the bridge falls. So many people die, so much money waste, energy waste, so many important lives of the people are lost. So how much havoc it creates. So these are all happening because of adultery in the womb. The Varna Sankara is born, the Varna Sankara multiplying. So we are across this havoc in the society. Okay, Vishnu report. And Lokanath report complete.
When dharma is stolen, the women of the family will become spoiled by becoming.
Your voice is not audible, bro, properly.
Hare Krishna, bro.
When adharma is prevalent, the women of the family will become spoiled, pradushyanti, by becoming adulterous. Baldev Vidyabhishan purport. Just as we, having been made to trespass dharma by our brothers and bring about sin in the form of destruction of the family, so the women, afflicted with ignorance, thinking that they may engage in sin, being made to defy oaths of chastity by us, will become corrupted.
So they all become corrupt, having been by trespass dharma by our brothers. Bring about sin in the form of destruction of the family. So women afflicted with ignorance, thinking that they may engage in sin, being made to defy the laws of chastity by us, will become corrupted. Okay, so we will also become corrupted. That's what he's saying now. Just as we will also become corrupted by being the reason for adharma bhibavat. That's what he said. Okay, coming to closer of this top chapter, maybe 1 or 2 days. 41. Sankaro narakaiva kula jnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham lipta pindodaka kriya. He's telling us lipta pindodaka kriya. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. Ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Mixed caste in the family brings hell for those who have destroyed the family members. The forefathers fall, being deprived of pinda and water offerings. So both the destruction happens here, who are living, as well as those who are already passed away. The same thing is spoken by other devotion also. And their family members, moreover, the forefathers fall to hell. He's speaking fall to hell, being deprived of pinda and water offerings. Yeah. Swami Prabhu, can you please read this? Swami Prabhu? Oh, you can't. Oh, sorry. Anikel Prabhu, you read.
Yes, bro. According to the rules and regulations of ritual activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful actions. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from various types of sinful reactions, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies as ghosts. Thus, when remnants of prasadam food are offered to forefathers by descendants, the forefathers are released from the ghostly or all other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are, are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in the devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in the Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, 41st verse.
Devarshi bhutatmanrunam pitrunam nakinkaro nayam druni charajan sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam tato mukundam parihatya kratum.
Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligation, and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligation to the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So this is Prabhupada's purport. So one who is performing devotion service, you need not to worry about this properly. Yeah. What Baladev purport?
The mixture of castes in the family leads to hell for those who destroy the family and its traditions. Not only do they go to hell, but because of this, he indicates reasons. The ancestors of the family, Pithara, also fall to hell because of being deprived of the Pinda offerings from lack of sons, who are qualified givers of Pinda.
So these family traditions are gone. Not only do they go to hell, but also because of this, the ancestors of the family fall to hell. So family traditions going by. Okay, we'll read one more for today. Doshairaitahi kulajnanam varna sankara karakaihe utsadyante jati dharma kula dharmascha shashvatah. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. So, because of the evil deeds, unwanted children form and community projects. Community projects means all of their work will be destroyed. Activities will be devastated. Both the caste and family rules are destroyed by the fault of mixed varnas caused by the killers of the family members. Both the caste, same, almost same translation. Yeah, Nikhil Prabhu read this. Nikhil Prabhu read now. Loknath Prabhu read. Loknath Prabhu.
Purport. Community projects for the four orders of human society combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatana Dharma or Varnashram Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatana Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society brings about chaos in that society. And consequently, people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are called blind, and the persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos.
Now the leaders are only not there because leaders are society leader is a Kshatriya. Now Kshatriyas are gone. The people below, they don't perform their activities. So the four orders of human life, now the actual projects they are supposed to do for the welfare of everyone and their welfare also, they are forgotten. Let us say even a potter is supposed to make his pot in order to be available for all others. And Vaishali to produce grains. You see, these are the most important and essential needs of the human society, by which the purification of their heart is going to happen and everybody else's duties can be performed. So Brahmanas will not be able to do yajna. When Brahmanas are not able to do yajna, then no knowledge, spiritual knowledge flows down. So the Brahmanas they are not encouraged to do that. Then they take up the Shudra activities. And Vaishyas will take just to loot the people. And Shudras will not obey the higher caste. It's going to be chaos later.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur purport. By the fault of mixture of caste, both the caste rules and the family rules will be destroyed. Baldev Vidyabhushan purport. In 2 verses, Arjuna summarizes the faults, the principle of being a Kshatriya and the principles and special rules of the particular family and ashrama principles as well will disappear.
Utsadyanti. Kula Dharma Utsav. So mostly tomorrow we'll complete the chapter. So Arjuna is giving now tomorrow what we'll do. We'll summarize the whole chapter also possible. We complete early. Then we'll try to show the flow of verses and breakdown of the chapter once we summarize. And we will go to chapter 2 the day after tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Samyad Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai.